Hey guys, today I'm going to be reviewing and demonstrating the xTool S1 laser engraver with the 1064 nanometer infrared module. And this is a fantastic module because it allows you to engrave all types of detailed things onto metal. So you can see here, this is one example of a really nice pattern, and you get this really dark engraving that you don't get with normal diode laser, like a blue diode laser. Here's another example here, and that's just on stainless steel. Do find it works better if you lower the speed of the module so that it just doesn't laser too quickly. A bit of jewelry that I was experimenting around as well. If I can get the camera to focus. It's really impressive how small this thing can laser as well. Even tried it out on some, like a little washer there as well. Then you've got things like, this watch that I have, also stainless steel, titanium. So this is my Raylight Pineapple Mini, and you get a really nice dark engraving there, and on stainless steel here as well. If you're into marking your tools as well, like that, doesn't take very long at all there. And yeah, I really like that you can just get a really dark engraving. Another engraving that I did on a pendant, and yeah, really impressive because, like I said before, it just engraves so small. Those letters there on top of the bear that says, let's say, haha, that's just about 1 millimeter tall. So that's the type of detail that you can get. And yeah, if you're looking to create your own custom jewelry, maybe you got your own custom jewelry business or looking to start one up, this is a fantastic module and machine. Another thing you can do as well is engrave detailed images onto metal as well. So, I mean, look at that. This thing is only about maybe 4 centimeters across, 3 or 4 centimeters across. And the detail that tiger in there, it's pretty amazing. That's just on stainless steel. And this one here, I would say, is my absolute favorite. You can see there, it's like a dragon image. This took me a few goes, a few layers. Bottom one is a lot lighter, but it has some amazing detail in there. So you can customize your lights. You can customize any type of metal, metal tool or object really that's out there. And not just that, you can engrave plastics, you can engrave ceramics, and a few other materials as well. Okay, so I'm going to cut now to the unboxing and installation of this module, and also show you how I created these different pieces. I've reviewed this machine before. This is my xTool S1. It's a laser engraver and cutting machine. I've got the 20-watt version. Okay, this comes with a 20-watt diode laser. And what I've always wanted to do is engrave different kinds of metals. Now, this can engrave onto metals, but it just doesn't produce a dark enough mark for my liking, and not with a few different darkness settings as well, and even color settings. And so I managed to get one of these here. So this is the 2-watt 1064 nanometer infrared module. And it's pretty amazing because it allows you to engrave onto copper, titanium, stainless steel, all different types of metals, and with more accuracy as well. So it's pretty much the same size. The module is the same size as the 20 watt, so it slots directly into place, and does come with some little accessories as well. Yeah, that's just basically to install it, a couple of screws and an Allen key. But xTool have also included a bunch of these little materials. So looks like these are just some chains and yeah, bits of things that you can engrave there to hang off your neck. And then these two here are just a couple, looks like kind of copper or brass pendants of some sort. So we're gonna have a go, engrave some of these materials. I'm also gonna play around with some other different materials I have and metals. This is the cardboard box that it comes in, very well packaged and lots of insulation in there. And I'll swap this laser in. Essentially all I'm going to do is unscrew these two screws on the top, Pop this one in, screw it back in, and you're pretty much ready to go. And actually comparing them side by side, the 2-watt 1064 nanometer is actually a little bit wider. And I'm not sure why that is, but that's an interesting little observation. So let's slot it in, install it. Okay, so this is xTool XCS, and it's the software that you need to download in order to use your S1 with the 2-watt infrared laser. So basically, if you go through the sides here, you can see there's a bunch of different, toolbars. So you've got this one here where you can upload an image. You can, get designs like this in order to engrave onto things like brass coins or, pendants, necklaces and things like that, as long as you've got like a kind of circular piece of material, piece of metal. Another thing you do is click on this 5th little icon down the side here, and there are already a bunch of pre-installed shapes. You got borders, you got plants here as well. You can click that button on the right, that little arrow, to actually access a whole lot more there. You can see also there's animals, so if you want to put a little giraffe there, a cute little giraffe or a cat or something like that, you can actually click. That's a little teddy bear, and that will provide a very, very good guide for your laser in order to engrave that nicely. So, this here on the right is more of a more detailed engraving. So I guess it's like engraving a photograph, and there's already a bunch of pre-settings here that you can choose from. It has settings already, but built in, so you can actually go through here, select the type of material that you're using, and it should change the settings. Now it doesn't always do this, so yeah, that one changed. You can see it's gone 90 to 100. So for these types of complex engravings, I suggest you need to kind of play around a little bit. Sometimes you need to give it a second or even a third pass. Alter the image. You can click on the image and do things like hit the filter. There's a little selector here saying adjustments, and you can basically just play around with the grayscale, things like sharpness, saturation, brightness, and contrast. So say you maybe give it a first pass, a generic pass, and maybe you want to really just bring out those darker values. So you can actually just drag this downwards, okay, like I've done here, and you can see it's targeting now all the really dark values in there. And this also allows you to play around with the brightness. You can reduce the brightness, you can increase the contrast as well. So really to just get that laser to bring out those darker values a lot more. My computer is a little bit slow, so it's taking a bit of time to actually alter this. Normally I use another computer, secondary computer with a graphics card here, but yeah, still works pretty well with this computer. It's like 10 years old, so considering that, it's doing pretty well. So normally I'd do something like this, I'd have I would have like one version and copy and paste this coin a second time round. So here you can see it's pasted. You can actually line it up directly on top. You can adjust it so that we have maybe another layer, so it has a more full, a more full picture here with all the values in between the lighter and the darker stuff. So the way I've seen people do this is that they have like 3 different versions, and these are separated out into layers. So when you click on that layer tab down in the bottom left hand corner, it should pop up, and each layer will be engraved one on top of the other. Yeah, so what you can do, if you highlight them all like that, say you got 2 layers, you can then you can align, horizontally align center, and then click again, vertically align center. So now these 2 images are directly on top of each other, and so when you process both layers, they're going to be completely on top, so there's no misalignment. So if you click on this 5th icon here to the left, down here where you can see pattern, you can actually click there. These are some vector patterns that you can use. So if you're, putting a design onto some metal, let's have a look. Maybe this kind of, I like this pattern here. Looks pretty trippy. And so you select one and you think to yourself, okay, maybe the shape that you're doing is longer or it's wider. You don't have to copy and paste all these and align them exactly. There is a little tool that you have here on the side, this last icon to the left. So applications, and just click on grid array. And here what you can do, you can just, specify how many rows and columns you want, like that. And one thing to keep in mind is if you don't want any spaces in between, which I assume you do, if you want it to just be one pattern, reduce this spacing to 0 and 0 and click done. There you have it. You've got perfectly aligned pattern like this, and you can stick something straight on there. It could be, maybe it could be the top of a laptop, or it could be, a pendant, it could be a butter knife or something like that. One thing I found out, one big tip, is if you do want that engraving to come out quite dark and prominent, what I do is put the power onto 100%, drop this all the way down to 20 and below. Okay, some people I've noticed have even gone down to like 6 or 8 millimeters per second. Pretty slow, but that just means that when you're engraving something like this, and it's just assuming if you're doing this sort of line related work as well, when you're working with more complicated images like this, you're gonna have to play around with a few other features. But yeah, if we're just engraving something more simple like this, monochromatic, that's what I'd suggest. 100, about 20 millimeters or below. Okay, and you've got one pass here. Also, lines per centimeter is pretty important as well. I think the default is on about 100, and it just doesn't look as good, and sometimes there are spaces in between. It looks like the engraving has just some lighter spots and stuff. So I would select something between 200 and 300 lines per centimeters just to be safe. Takes a little bit longer, but you get a much high quality engraving from it. overall, I'm super impressed with this 1064 nanometer module that you get with the S1. And, you know, you get some really nice crisp lines that you don't need to, you know, apply any spray, laser spray, use any chemicals on it beforehand. It just saves a lot of time. If you're new to laser engraving, it's quite an easy process to pick up. You know, all you need to do is find a picture. A lot of the time you actually can just use the XCS software that comes with a lot of pre-installed designs, patterns, stuff like that, and you can laser on directly. If it's something like just engraving a name, very simple. There's a text box that you can just pop on, change the font, put it in, and laser quite easily. But yeah, if you want to get all different types of designs, photos and stuff like that, you know, say for this one, you know, it's very simple just to download the design, put it straight into the software, laser it on. Something like this did take me a few tries though, you know, a few layers in terms of getting the first general layer in detail, and then I'll add in more of the darkness, laser on more dark areas, and sometimes you can put in and redo some of the white areas as well, or the lighter areas. So yeah, with some of these images it does take a little bit longer to figure it out, but overall, you know, it didn't take me too long at all, maybe just 1 or 2 passes to get an image like this. I found that when doing a lot of these metal engravings, if I reduce the speed of the laser head down, it actually creates a darker engraving. So I ended up reducing the speed down on a lot of these to about 20 to 100 millimeters per second. You know, 100% power, and for me that yielded the best results. You can even reduce it down to 1 millimeter to 6 millimeters per second if you really want to get a super dark engraving, but I do find that is unnecessary. You know, 20 millimeters per second is good enough, and it's still fast enough as well, so you're not waiting there for hours. So if you have any questions, just let me know down in the comments. I will get back to you. You know, I also have a discount voucher available in the video description if you want to pick up one of these modules with the xTool S1. I've been really impressed with this machine and just quite obsessed with it lately, actually. So yeah, I'll have some more videos out. I'll make some more videos of some different designs and yeah, creations, I guess. But yeah, if you like the video, do me a favor, click the like button, and it just helps me get the video out to more people. And if you want to see some more of this kind of content, laser engraving content, yeah, make sure you subscribe.